Reg here at Pax Area Gaming. Welcome to our continuing adventures of the Lives of P Overture. Our buddy P, who is time traveling in this game, has to go back to face a boss that we missed in another area of the game. The Premetamorphic Green Hunter. We took an elevator going down, and there's a jump off as you head down the elevator where you would face this particular boss. And if you're not looking at the area where you're going down, you'll easily miss the jump off. You'll hear the creature scream, but you'll miss the jump off. And this creature does appear in Lies of P in a slightly different form. I did die the first time. So for those of you who played the main game, he should be recognizable. He hits pretty hard, but he's very weak to fire. I guess he's sort of considered a secret boss because quite a few people can easily miss him, and I think people did, and like me, went back and fought him. This is the weapon I was using against Lumacchio. I'm not sure how long I'll stick with it, but in this fight, because I know this guy is weak to fire, I figured it made sense to use a weapon like this. One that I didn't have to continually use the grindstone on. And he is our 6th boss of the game. Yeah, this little move is annoying. Yeah, because he regains health when he does that. So at all costs, you want to dodge or block, but you don't want to get caught by that. It just makes the fight longer and uses more and more of your resources. Thermite would have been helpful here. I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, when you get him down to almost dead, he will run away. Which explains his appearance in the main game, in the base game. Since these events are happening before the events of the main game. Okay, so we will not see him again in this DLC. So let's take before we continue, let's take a jaunt back to Eventide Crowd Hotel. Or let's not. Sealed arm of God's altar. You can actually pause it and read the description if you want to. Yeah, I just wanted to look around, make sure I'm not missing anything before I head down. I know it's not a one-way trip, so no big deal. The abandoned excavation site. So we'll have a little bit of exploring to do here.
Received this message, then I'm likely dead. Either I have been cut down by a blade, or I have succumbed to the disease consuming my body. I don't know which will find me first. But before the end, I will save Romeo. And I have a request. Take care of him. Please, do this for me. If he gets any foolish ideas about exacting revenge or completing my mission, stop him. You have my permission to slap him if that's what it takes. And tell Romeo. Tell him to be happy.
To my dearest and most esteemed stalker, I wish I could personally see your face this very moment. How do you like my masterpiece? I poured my very soul into it with all my heart. I trust there is no need for formal introductions, of course not, for it is I, your dear Latino. You took many things from me. Arms, legs, a sunny outlook on life. And then you drove nine blades through me. All on your own. So, I have only you to thank, yes? I am grateful. Never in my life have I ever known known such shameful disgrace and such overwhelming joy. You heard it correctly. Joy. For in that moment, my dear, you became interesting, worthy of my attention and study. All humans are intriguing to me, but you shall help me shape my study of humanity, my magnum opus. Yet, one can never be too careful, so you must be assessed, starting now. My dear stalker, I have crafted a test that will reveal your heart, your soul, your true self. It's a simple choice. Life is precious, so I wonder, which life do you value more? Yours or your apprentice's? When you have listened to this message, do pay a visit to the Rose Estate. I have something you want back, don't I? And you will meet Stalker one way or another. I intend to collect that debt.
Okay, it's it for Arlecchino. He appears in the base game, obviously, since we're going back in time. He's also the voice that was on the phones in the base game that would have the little riddles that you had to solve. And then, of course, you meet up with him at a couple of points. He's so annoying. Oh my God. Incredibly annoying. Okay, so we're going to progress our way through this little network. Eventually it's going to lead out to a watery area, a coastal area.
We still have time. Leia must be headed to the Rose Estate. If we can save Leia and Romeo, I think this is our shot at changing things.
I'm guessing eventually we're going to get to that estate that he's talking about, the Rose Estate, which must be way the hell out here. Okay, we're at the Sea Cliffs. And for most of this episode, we're going to be sort of working our way across a frozen sea and through some shipwrecks, which will eventually lead us to the Rose Estate. Not quite sure whether... actually, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen in this episode. We won't get to the Rose Estate until the next episode, which could be the last episode. We're pretty far along after this episode. This episode we have quite a few things to do. We got the Sea Cliffs, we have a fleet, we have the shipwreck exterior, the shipwreck interior, and the frozen coast. So we have a lot to do in this area. And we fought one boss, although that's a boss that was a carryover from that should have happened in a previous episode. And I'm guessing we'll have one major boss before we get to the end of this episode. Okay, so this jump down is a one-way ticket. As is this jump down. Okay. These are guys that we've already dealt with in one of the previous areas of the game. So they're not any different, so no worries. So are these guys, the little dogs. Good night, puppy. It'd be easier if I just sort of ran up and hit this guy rather than doing the arrow thing. You know, I can be a little bit stubborn. For some weird reason, I am wasting time on this guy. That's crazy. Alright, so we got some loot. Actually, this game is pretty generous with loot. That's one of the things I noticed, even starting back with the first episode. You know, you sometimes get them from enemies. You don't get them from every enemy. I guess it's a bit of a random drop when you kill an enemy, whether or not you get a Legion or, Legion canister or one of those kinds of things. So yeah, so I guess it's fairly random. Of course, you have chests, which are spaced a little bit, sort of fewer and far between, which is okay. Yeah, that's not a big deal. In the DLC, you will get weapons, but you have plenty of weapons from the main game that you can use. Chances are you would have upgraded a couple of those to max level. And you might find a couple of new weapons that you like a lot. And I like the bow, obviously, and it's upgraded. And there'll probably be a couple of other weapons I have. I guess the goal would be to have a weapon that has each attribute. Like I have one with acid, one with electricity, one with fire. You want to have one with each attribute. I guess just depending on whether or not a boss is particularly weak to one thing or another. You know, some bosses I can't figure out what their weakness is, because even when I have a particular attribute equipped, it doesn't seem to hurt them that much. In the last boss, the Green Hunter guy, he's definitely weak to fire. And in the main game, he's weak to fire as well. So that doesn't ever change. Robots tend to be weak to electricity. Robots, I guess puppets. Okay. So this guy was protecting something that he didn't want me to get to, so let's go figure out what it was that he was keeping from me. There's a chest that we saw from the other side. Uh-oh, okay, buddy. It's a chest that we saw when we were on that ledge ahead of us on the other side. We were looking this way. We saw that automaton, and then we saw this chest, so... Okay, so we have a disc. That's pretty good, because it can be converted to different things, whether it's a weapon or an amulet or something like that. So they actually, it's a good find. I don't think I've missed any chests in this game or in the main game. I explore a lot, which is why it takes me longer in some of these episodes. I don't just run by everything. I look around. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not, just to be fair. Sometimes it's like, okay, why did I spend my time doing this? There's nothing here. But there are times when you're like, oh, if I hadn't gone back, I wouldn't have gotten this particular item. Okay, now I'm trying to figure out, just making sure there was no drop down here, which there isn't. And now we're going to work our way back around the other side to continue our progress. Alright, so this is P trying out a different weapon. We still have our bow, but we have another weapon as well, so... I don't know whether this guy respawns if you kill him, but I'm not sure. We have to come this way again. The weapon is an electricity-based weapon. Since there's so many puppets out here, I figured this is a good one. Alright, we're at the Archon Fleet Shipwrecks. Now that we have our Stargazer, let's go back and fight this intimidating fella. And we know the way forward is near the Stargazer, so we don't have to come back this way. I'm just retracing to make sure there's nothing I missed. I don't think there is. This loops back around to the area at the beginning when we came through this area. This is the dog and his brother. And then we have a miner up this little ledge. So yeah, we've already done this, but I'm going to kill him again.
This wretched cold. What I wouldn't give for a strong drink. Indeed, it feels as if we're at the end of the world here. Something scarred this place. The alchemists and their deadly infighting. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a living, breathing merchant who wants to stay that way. Let's stick to business.
About what I said before. Just think, if we can save them here, we could alter Krot's future. For the better, I hope. But put that aside, Leia's fighting alone. How could we not help? So, what do you say, pal?
We have a bunch of, looks like dead alchemists. And we have some very tanky, Jesus. Some very tanky new enemies. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so this is our first of what I'm guessing will be a number of shipwrecks that we have to sort of sift through. Which is going to make this a little bit confusing, since the inside of these ships probably don't look all that different. Okay. These guys are going to make me run through all of my heals before I get through this boat. Sorry, through this ship. And we have these guys that we have fought in the main game. Some of them have these rifles, and some have swords. Okay, we have these fish type creatures. Interesting enemy type. I'm using this arrow, this bow, and I'm assuming that these, since they're fish, they would be weak to fire. So if they become too bothersome, I'll just switch to the fire-based weapon. I have been putting any of the points that I have for upgrades into capacity. When I started the DLC, the issue was... Oh. Alright, guy. Oh, they're kind of quick. The issue was I was overweight, and then I became slightly overweight. Slightly, I'm okay with. I'm terrible at fighting in these games anyway, so I'm not so sure if I was not overweight at all that I'd still be able to fight any better, so I'm not too worried about it. As long as I'm not fat rolling, which I'm not. And there's an amulet that I could be using to help with the weight as well. So if it became an issue, I would just equip that amulet. I think I've maxed out all of my amulet slots, so I have some space that I can sort of switch something out. Like I'm always using the continuous HP generation, but it's very slow. And it's not something that I need to use during a fight, because it doesn't work well enough to actually save you from dying. However, in traversing an area like this, having it on is good, because if an enemy has chipped at your health without using one of your recharges, you can regain your health. So, like I said, it will happen very slowly, so you don't want to be in a situation where you're fighting and hoping that that will sort of give you all of your health back, because it won't. Okay, so the one way that I know that I'm on a different ship is, of course, there's loot. And there are more of these guys. But once you clear one out, yeah, I don't think my electric blade is really doing as much damage against this guy as I was hoping. So there are a couple of types of these guys. There's this guy with a dagger, and there are other guys with a longer sword, almost like a fencing sword. They're all fast, so they're a pain in the neck. And I'm not the master at parrying, but I am a little bit better at blocking than I was in the first or second part of the game. Although I do get a little intimidated when they come at me that fast, and I usually miss most of the blocks. But my bow still has its purposes. It is maxed out. There's no more upgrades I can do to it. There's a little power shot where I'll draw the bow, draw the bowstring back, and then my character flashes, and then I let it go. And that's a more powerful shot. But in testing out, I found that doing the rapid 3 or 4 shots in a row actually does more damage than that shot. I tested it out at Eventide Crot Hotel. All right. So we made our way to the next section. There's a chest up top, which we need to get. Hopefully, and we have a guy who's a very weak guy who's guarding it. And his buddy. I never remember to look up and realize these guys are actually above us, but that's okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. I don't know whether that's stronger than any of the ones I already have. I think this is right. Yeah, we haven't been this way. There's fighting ahead. Huh. I don't know why I did that. I should have just let them kill each other. Okay. Very big ass mini boss. He's smacking me around big time. My Thor sword doesn't seem to be doing a lot of damage. I know I told you guys I can block now, but I'm not doing a good job. Because this guy is so intimidating. He's stuck in the corner. Wow. Okay, well that was intense. Let's make sure our weapon is nice and sharp for whatever might be lurking back here. What the heck was that? We have another talking character? He sounds like he's a little touched, though.
Souvenirs sustained me, but I wanted more. Until my avarice sent me scurrying off with the Imperial clone.
Hopefully he wasn't someone that was going to have some kind of dialogue with me. Okay, this looks like another bit of a one-way trip. So let me make sure that there's nothing else up here. We killed the guy below. That's that ship that looks just like the other two ships we were in. Okay, I think we came over this. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Okay, so yeah, P can't swim. The coastal cave hideout. So yeah, that makes things a little bit interesting when you're crossing the ice paths. Okay, so this leads to the top area of one of these ships, which I'm assuming has an exit below. Yeah, Eliza P doesn't have a map, so it's not like you can mark the places you've already been. So, while I love the level design, my complaint is they make some of these regions, some of these areas look so much alike that you're like, is this the same ship I was on, but I was on the bottom level, or is this a different ship and I'm on the top level? Usually the telltale sign is if there's loot, it means you haven't been here. If there's a chest, it means you haven't been here. And obviously if there's a new stargazer, it means you haven't been here. Okay, so I had been there, so I need to work my way back through a different angle. This is the fight we saw when we came through here the first time. The area where we want to get to is where we were on the cliff and we shot the soldier from the we shot the soldier from that cliff. Again, I didn't block, which was silly. Maybe I only block during boss fights, because if you don't, you die pretty quickly. But I am better at blocking, I promise. And for those of you watching, just note, I have actually fallen off of the ice into the water multiple times. One time I got knocked off by one of those creatures, one of those fish creatures. That guy. Yeah, you'll notice that some of the ice that you're standing... Oh my god, really? Oh my god. Dude, I gotta come all the way back here. Okay, so I have switched to a fire-based weapon because of all the fish and other bullshit that we had to fight through. Maybe it'll make this guy easier. See, I'm blocking. At least sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I think the fire definitely helped with that one. Now, I was trying to see if I can go into this shipwreck, but I can't. That chest right there, I actually ran past 3 different times. I will eventually go back and get what's in there. There's a new stargazer below. Once you jump down, you can't go back up. That was why. So once I jumped down, and I realized, oh shit, I can't get that chest. What was I thinking? Then I have to go all the way back through that loop again to get to it. Actually passed it by 3 times. I went back another time. That boss guy does not respawn. It's just the little guys that do. So I made my way back, passed it up again, and had to go back another time. I don't know whether I recorded all of that. We'll see. It was so stupid because I'm so conscientious about grabbing chests.
How in the world are you still alive? You really are one of the luckiest fellows I've
Lumacchio.
ever met. All that effort to stop you down the drain. Proud of yourself?
Wow. You little...
It's no great mystery, lad. For myself, obviously. Wait, you expected some grand speech on justice, honor, and duty? Meaningless concepts in this world. No speeches.
Wow.
Just action. I just need to carry out my part in Sir Simon's grand plan. And then, I'll reap all the rewards I have sown. Whoever lives, dies, or fights means nothing to me. Let us take you, for example. You think your story means anything? You are a nuisance to be disposed of.
He sounds a little bit like the
Nobody.
English version of Erlang Shang, but I know it's not. This is a guy, his last name is Koji.
Veronique was a nuisance too.
He's a British Japanese actor
The legendary
from the
stalker
show Warriors.
and the leader of the sweepers. 2 troublesome sides of the same coin. It is indeed unfortunate that my trap built for 2 snared only 1. That so-called legend, Leia Florence, evaded my scheme. But you know where she is. Don't you? I'm so glad you mentioned this. Of course, I do want only peace. You see, I abhor violence. We are not savages, my good fellow. I am grateful the alchemist dealt with Veronique. I find such things distasteful. Now, it's your turn. And what could be a more peaceful solution than you simply not resisting and allowing me to do what I must? You truly are a nuisance.
Okay.
And in more ways than one. But the game's end here.
Okay. like all the bosses, he's pretty fast. He's got these little grenades. He's got that stupid umbrella. He's trying to use my Legion arm to hurt him a little bit.
By the most brilliant alchemists as reward.
Oh great, he heals. That's fun. See if I can... And he has that move, which you can't see. Well, you can see it when he doesn't do the fog thing that he does, the smoke bomb that he does. When he does a smoke bomb, you just... I guess it's an automatic. When he does a smoke bomb, I should dodge to the side. Yep. Because he sort of comes right at you through the middle of the smoke bomb. Oh, finally. Got some fire status on this guy. Some burn status on him. But he has so much health left. Oh, okay. It's like he is potentially vulnerable to backstabs if you're quick enough. He's got it. Yeah, I gotta remember that move. And that didn't do as much damage as I'd hoped. Oh, maybe it did. Okay. Lumacchio's second phase is turning into one of these green hunter monsters. So maybe this version of him is weak to fire. Okay. He still hits hard. He doesn't have that stupid umbrella, nor does he have the grenade thingies. I'm not too worried about the decay status. I'm much more worried about just smacking me around like that. Alright. That was death number 1. Okay, so before we fought him again, I went back. This was the chest that I passed up when I climbed over that pole-looking thing. So I did go back to get it, just to show you guys I did eventually go back to get it. And once I climbed over here and dropped down, I couldn't get back up, so I had to go all the way around. And as I mentioned, I missed it on more than one occasion, which is pretty bad. Okay, so I also fought Lumacchio 11 more times, dying 10 of those 11 times. So total deaths was 11. And before I do that, let's talk to this whaler guy.
For 3 days and 3 nights we battled. I never slept.
Who we almost missed, by the way.
I fought and fought until I triumphed. They all said I would never catch any fish. But I am a fisherman. The last fisherman of Krat. If not I, then who? I rowed out to prove that even the greatest fish of the sea could not defeat me. Indeed, I did. I caught it. I fought the beast for 3 days and 3 nights. No food, no sleep. In the end, I caught it with my bare hands. A great toll is taken on my body. Why? Because I am a fisherman, of course. The petrification disease, carcass monsters, none of that matters. Any day the sun also rises, so does the tide. And a fisherman must head to sea to bring in the catch. That's what I wanted to teach the fools in the village. You would help an old man. Refreshing in one so young. All right, go to the village and find that foolish brat, Manolin. Find him and tell him I caught the fish. And get the beer he holds for me. After battling this fish for 3 days, I am exhausted. It's time to celebrate my triumph. And a beer is just what I need. Indeed, I did. I caught it. I fought the beast.
Okay, so we're going to take a little detour before we go back and re-challenge Lumacchio a zillion times. So this little side quest requires us to... Yeah, we're going to go back to the previous Stargazer. Nope, we're going back to Hotel Krat. Let's do that first. And talk to Alidoro, Tracker. And the base game, his name is Alidoro.
This is a surprise. None of the keys I have fit this cipher machine. I thought I'd gathered nearly all of them. Perhaps one of the alchemists or one of their associates possesses the key. They often conceal cipher keys in their clothing. If you bring me the garments of any suspicious persons, I'm sure I can reveal the secret pockets.
Okay. So we have a sub-mini quest. In order for him to decipher that, there's something else we need. I'm guessing we actually get it from Lumacchio. So we will pick up the Fisherman's Quest again in a bit. At least we've initiated it. And then we have Alidoro, Tracker's Quest as well. But I think Tracker's Quest is connected to this one. So this is... I missed the backstab on that one. Okay, so I switched the Legion arm to the Aegis because I think that will at least do some damage whenever he hits me. I've switched my weapon to a heavier weapon with a longer reach that I could just she's still clocking me. I can just poke. And it seems to hurt a little bit more than the previous 2 weapons that I tried probably 10 different weapons. He killed me 11 times in total. It's up to this point in the game, the second hardest boss in terms of number of deaths, with Veronique leading the charge at 14 deaths.
Behold, an elixir of great power.
Yeah, and I know your stuff now. So he's gonna heal. So I think mostly this fight is about being patient and chipping away. He's only gonna do that heal thing once. I guess twice if you count when he transforms into the second phase. And I don't think you can sort of knock him out of that. I think he's going to do the heal. That's just part of it. He doesn't ever heal. He doesn't heal back to 100%. He heals back to, I'd say, looks like about 80%. Although I guess if you don't do enough damage, maybe he will heal back to 100%. I'm not sure. And with that move, I've learned to, knowing that he's going to come out of the fog, the smoke bomb right at you, it's just easier to just sidestep it. If you can sort of make sure you work your way around him, and when he lands, you can get a backstab in. I never used this particular weapon in the main game. I think I've had it. Well, this is the glaive. Okay, I've switched. So this is the glaive weapon, which I did use in the main game. So the 2 weapons that I have equipped is the glaive and that pokey weapon. So I'm assuming this guy is weak to fire. I know the glaive hits pretty hard. I got the fire, the burn effect on him. Burn status. He hit my Aegis shield, which caused a little bit more damage. So that status is gone, which has some damage over time. Got out of the corner, which I definitely don't want to be in when he's wailing on me like that. I think if I remember, if he grabs you, he can heal. There we go. That happened to me a few times when I thought, oh, okay, I got him, and then he managed to heal.
My dear, good, kind fellow, hear me out, please. I can explain.
Yeah, buddy.
All of it.
I don't care about your explanation. You just tried to murder me.
All this happened. All of it. Because of the alchemist and that damned infighting. I had to pick a side. Don't you see? I'd have ended up like Veronique, or your precious legend. I had to choose. I chose Simon's side. I only did what he commanded. Please.
Yeah, well.
I beg for mercy. If I did evil, it was not of my design, it was them. This isn't common knowledge. But when Valentinus ran things, she was, what was it, off limits. Whatever she got up to, we were told to ignore it, to pretend it wasn't happening. But even as Simon gathered more power and influence, she remained loyal to Valentinus, and when she and Simon came into direct conflict, a bounty was quietly and unofficially placed on her head. Competition was fierce. Veronique's faction targeted her repeatedly, and our side couldn't disobey orders. This is a mistake. But how? The alchemist gave me this elixir. No middleman. For the cure. It was complete. Worked on carcasses, they said. I was to have a stronger body. One immune to disease and infection. I was to become. But no. It must have been a mistake. They gave me the wrong one. The wrong elixir. I must have treatment. I must. My good, kind fellow. Please. Sir.
No, you can just fuck right off, buddy. You just put me through killing me 11 times? Really? You think I'm gonna let you? No way. No way. Nope, 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 nope.
I must go to them. I must go to them. Get my cure.
No. I'm sending you to sleep with the fishes.
I was chosen.
Well, he was a very difficult fight.
I'll be honest, it's the terrible conclusion that schemers like him face in the end. What a fall from grace. He had everything. Why throw it all away like this?
Okay, we have our next Stargazer. We're going to pop back into Eventide. We got some quest endings we can sort of wrap up.
Well met, Master Stalker.
And we can buy stuff. Or not. Let's talk to Alidoro. Tracker, I keep calling him that. The reason I keep calling him that is because I went back and watched some earlier playthrough from another YouTuber person.
I never realized their interests had become so entwined. Well, let me take a look at those clothes for a moment.
And he's obviously older and wiser because that story takes place after this.
Hidden pocket for hiding valuables.
And of course he's wanted all over the place.
The key to this cipher machine inside. It would appear the noble reputation of the leader of the bastards was a facade. I'll decrypt it right away, so we can see what heinous deeds he was hiding. Lumacchio didn't simply cooperate with the alchemists. It appears he was Simon's hunting dog, stalking and killing those opposed to the alchemists. I am truly disappointed in Lumacchio. I thought him destined to become a shining pillar of light atop Krat. Considering who the lighthouse keeper betrayed, I doubt he escaped unscathed. Unless, of course, he prepared a hideout.
No.
If so,
No worries.
the only piece of advice I can give for finding its whereabouts is to put yourself in the shoes of the lighthouse keeper.
I keep forgetting that when I'm here I should do all kinds of things that I can do when I'm here. Like check on the gold coin tree, do any of the wish stones if I need to, check on that little seed that I planted. You know, I don't know what's supposed to happen with that. It's just there. The game doesn't tell you anything more. grab this stuff. Okay, seed still seeding. Okay, that sounded bad. Seed is still germinating, growing, whatever it's doing in that pot. We're at the shipwreck interior. We want to work our way okay. We want to work our way through this area to eventually find the lighthouse. And I'm guessing the lighthouse is in that little village that the whaler guy was telling us about, where the beer is located. Lots of little loot. We're back to the weaker type enemies, which I'm okay with. More loot, thermite, which is nice. Legion magazine, I probably have 1,000,000 of those. I don't use the Legion arm as much as I could. I have switched out. I mean, I used the electricity one when I was in this robotic area. I have not used the fire one all that much. There's a new gunshot version, which I've tried to use, but the enemies just seem to run right through it. The grenade launcher one is still one of my favorites. Okay, we have a chest. That's why we came here, right? So it was all worth it. Let's see what we got. All right. That's a pretty decent haul. Oh, great. We have someone shooting cannons at us. Whoa. Okay. So they're literally shooting cannons at us. So I guess we have to be doubly careful not to get knocked into the water and avoid being blown into the water by one of those cannon shells. Yeah, this is a faster way of killing them than using the bow. And oh, okay. Wow. Now we got these things disintegrating beneath our feet. We got things being shot at us. We got these ice blowing guys. You can just frost yourself to death over there. Okay, well, if we end up getting killed, we know we know we've gotten most of the loot from the area. Well, how much ammo do you guys have? You just whoa. Okay, well, when they're in whoa. That was close. When they're in front of you, it's easy to dodge those cannonballs. You're annoying. Okay. Oh, another one of these guys. Yeah, I don't have my fire weapon equipped. Pain in the ass guy. All right, we're back to our favorite enemy type in this section of the game. But I'm ready for you guys this time. I'm ready for you. I hear someone lurking around in here. Maybe not. Okay. Ah, there we go. So Alidoro has been wanted for a longer time than I thought. I thought it was only in the new game that Tracker, who, aka Alidoro, was wanted by the Order, but apparently it started way back here. Okay, so there are 3 levels. So we're going to go up top because we can't get off here. Okay, we can just drop down and grab this. And then we can go either go up top or we can go forward and fight whatever's... Okay, well, since he can hit me through the wall, And I can't. Come on, man. What the heck? Give me a chance to hit you. Alright. Okay, we have another one who didn't even hear his bro whiling out on me over there. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're not going to use the bow. That just tickled the guy. Jeez. That took way longer than it should have. That should have been an easy fight. Alright, what are we working with here? We have some loot. But let's take a look. I don't know which... No. First things first. Okay, so this leads to another ship. This is like a ship graveyard over here. So the question is, now that we've hopped down here, can we get back up? All right, we have some loot over there. We have in this watery area. Okay, all right. Wasn't sure if I walked into the water whether I would drown or not. I guess if they put the loot on the water, then probably it isn't very deep. But since I've drowned in this little section of the game a couple of times, I figured I'd want to be careful. No, Aladoro. No, not Aladoro. That's what it is, Arlecchino.
that? The one who left me in such a wretched state? Oh, they call her the legendary stalker now. Such a splendid little title. And she owes it all to me. Only fitting to congratulate her in person. See the truth behind the legend. But I sure won't be doing that here with you idiots. It's time I paid a visit to the zoo and remind her of her debt. Oh, Latino you are. A clever one.
Okay, and he did apparently make it to the zoo. And he did definitely remind Leia of her debt. Arlecchino is batshit crazy. But yeah, he's same way in the first game. So not a surprise. Okay, so a couple of things we need to do, which isn't going to happen in this episode. So we have to go to the village.
Do I even want to know what was in that cell? Or what kind of monster it was?
Actually, we have to finish
Why not? But
investigating and
here's
looting
hoping
these
the
ships.
beast hasn't been set loose upon the world.
Then we have to make it to the village to complete the whaler's quest. Eventually, we will gain a path, I guess, to the Rose Estate, which we haven't seen yet. Nor have we seen anything that looks like a path that leads there. I'm assuming we're going to meet up with Leia at some point, since we're sort of following in her footsteps. But there's a couple of things that we can do to wrap this up. One is that cannon right there. If it's destroyed, it will not respawn should you die. There's also a chest up ahead that we need to get to. There's a drop down right here. So it might be that we actually pick up from this particular area, because I think we're beyond the hour-and-a-half mark, and it may take longer. We can, I guess I can, okay, there's a chest in here as well. Let's grab this. We still have to go back to that other area. So I'm trying to do something we can do quickly, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, this leads to the next. All right, this is a good place to wrap up. So we have the next stargazer. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we can backtrack. There's the chest. If I die, I won't make another attempt. I'll do it in the next episode. But that's the chest that I want right there. And I think there's some loot on the mast of the ship, I guess is what that thing is up there that he was standing on. Okay, that's that. I was like, oh, if I can just get this one hit in, I'll kill him. All right, so I died here. So we're going to stop here. And when we pick up in the next episode, we'll pick up from exactly this spot. We'll go back, get that chest, probably have to kill all those guys again. And then we will continue forward to the whalers, to complete the whaler's quest. Find the beer and then bring it back to him. And then continue forward with the game. So I don't know whether it'll be 1 or 2 more episodes. Could be 1. We'll see what happens. Take care. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode.